No question about it, the 1990s have really been the Apple decade.
1997. Apple turns 20 this year, and everybody's celebrating from Cooper Pedy to Cupertino.
Just look anywhere in the media between 1987 and 1997. Apple is in everything from news to stand-up comedy.
They're everywhere.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California. I work here. I'm a computer.
They're everywhere.
They wrest a precarious living from the desert here in Ulaanbaatar, relying upon only instinct and several Apple computers.
They're everywhere, and they're all communicating.
Shuttle Flight 472 is now boarding. The white zone is for loading and unloading.
I don't think that last paragraph presents our case as strongly as it could. How about this?
I think we should say something about wine and cheese.
Perhaps.
Yeah, beauty, mate. Now throw in a stack of biscuits and we'll have a party.
Almost all the growth in the computer industry in the last decade happened in one place, the desktop.
And of course, that means Apple.
This being 1997, some people feel the Apple II concept is getting old. We don't agree.
The Apple II VSOP, the computer for the new millennium.
Very smooth old processor.
And today at Apple Computer, another milestone. This is the 50 millionth Macintosh produced since 1984.
And in the last 10 years, we've made a lot of big improvements, and some small ones too.
Presenting the Vista Mac. The Vista Mac 2, a new, thinner profile.
Of course, the classic Macintosh design is as recognizable as the Coke bottle, Pepsi bottle.
Computer speed doubles every 2 years, computer memory doubles every 2 years. "32 times the speed, 32 times the RAM, and 1/10 the parts." Weird.
So I told my wife, this is the 90s. We do more with less, right? You don't believe me? Open up your computer. What's in there? Nothing. There's nothing in there.
We build them simply, so they're simple to fix.
Module 2 is about to fail. Your key operator has been notified on the Apple Fix link. Replacement should take about 3 minutes.
I don't get it. What'd I do wrong here?
Please plug in the keyboard.
Oh.
A computer that talks is no big deal. A computer that really listens, that's a breakthrough.
I'm afraid I'll push the wrong button and damage something.
How long have you had this feeling?
Apple computers have always been friendly, but we've gone from friendly to understanding.
Good morning. This is October 5th, 1997. I have checked 4 wire services, scanned 8 magazines and 18 newspapers, and accessed the New York, Tokyo, and Paris databases. Here are 3 items you may be interested in.
For a complicated system like this, I usually need a little help. Now you'll need financial management with 83 workstations, 2 domestic sites and 2 international, sub-networks within each site.
Yes, and I'll need mainframe access throughout.
Here's a possible configuration. We installed one like it last October.
How's it working out?
Hello, I'm Stephen Smith, Vice President of Intercon. Our Apple financial management system has revolutionized the way we do business in just 6 months. It helped our bank buy it.
Custom design in manufacturing really had an impact on how sales does its job.
The specifications are turned into a design at the Technology Center. Time between customer input and product output has been compressed.
We cover the world, not just selling, but designing and manufacturing.
One of 6 worldwide technology centers. The Iceland facility will design and build computers for Arctic markets.
One thing that hasn't changed since 1987, growth.
When Apple Computer revenue broke $5 billion back in 1991, John Sculley's reaction was characterized as that of a Cheshire cat grin. Today, Apple Computer revenue broke the 20 billion mark. Sculley had this reaction. In other news, Jack Tramiel opened a new restaurant today.
I wanted Apple to be the world's business leader in finance, manufacturing, marketing, and R&D for the 90s.
We all expected Apple to become big, very big, but without becoming big business.
In 1987, the people at Apple didn't completely understand the significance of their work, but they suspected it might turn out to be very important. What can I say? Now we know they were right.
A lot has changed in the last decade, but a lot hasn't changed. In 1997, Apple is still a company with vision, and the Apple vision is stronger than ever.
We make the best, and we are proud of that fact. There is a sense of pride that goes with building good products.
We spent days grieving and fighting and arguing about little nitty user interface things like little dialogue boxes. No, it's got to say this and not that. And I couldn't believe it. I was pulling my hair out, and then when we got it done, I went, yeah, this is really right. And I don't mind putting my name on it. I don't mind somebody calling me with a question about it. Otherwise, I feel responsible for it. And I think that's what everybody's got, that sort of, it's mine, I want it to be the best. It's just like you want your kids to grow up to be, lawyers. Ooh, no, doctors.
Everybody has this one customer, in their mind, at their third eye, who's sitting there saying, no, that's going to be confusing. Oh, that's going to be hard. For me, it's my mother.
All in all, let's face it, we're all human, and I think we all enjoy when we see our customers and they pull out this computer and they go, wow, this is really neat. That makes it.
That's part of the experience. I mean, we want our customers to enjoy these things and just say, isn't this wonderful? It's like riding on a ride at Disneyland. I mean, no one wants to know how the haunted house works. People just want to be entertained. Well, we're not into the entertaining. We want to work hard so our customers have a great experience. I mean, that's what it's all about at Apple. Plus, it's fun for us to do. We get off on this stuff.
Actually, the most rewarding part is seeing your circuit work. That's what's exciting.
It's like you're doing a painting. You do it, you like doing it, and in the end you hope you've created something that other people like too.
I think to be an engineer here, you have to be able to both thrive off of the constant changes that are going on here, but also be willing to create those changes. You have to be willing to take some risks.
So now a lot of people are saying, well, it's not possible to get laser quality
out of a display
that you can work with real time. And that's not the right answer.
That's what we're out to disprove. Here, there's some percent sign
patterns.
My God. And at this point, they're just shrunk down. But if we were to use real-size fonts, they would just look exceedingly crisp.
This represents, you know, a real change. I mean, we have the power to make a difference. Other companies say you have the power, but we have the power to do it. We build stuff like this, and we take them up on it. We say, okay, we'll change the world. I'll sign up for that.
At Apple, there's a need to put a stake in the ground ahead of the competition. There's a need to do things that haven't been done before in order to maintain the atmosphere that itself motivates you.
Right.
What drives me about Apple, what I enjoy about coming to work here, what makes me sweat the extra details is that this is going to be real important to somebody. This is going to make somebody's life better. I want to do the best I can and give the best product to the people out there.
The product reflects us, really. You know, the product's as much fun as we have. I guess that sort of sums it up. It's a bit of us in there.
And when you really, really step back and look at it, that kind of thing is really what drives folks. It's not the paycheck, it's not the logos, not the beer bus, it's not the t-shirts, it's the fact that you can really change the world when you work at Apple.
It's the first thing I turn on when I come in my office.
An overwhelming sense of power.
It's an extension of the creative part of my mind.
Instant gratification to the kids.
I get to think visually, I get to think with sound.
I associate it with getting what I want.
Stimulus to think more deeply and more broadly and really more profoundly about a particular subject.
Great tool for helping me remain on the dean's list.
We don't use it as a tool. We use the machine more as a weapon.
He's on the bid.
Sequa, SQAA, 100 grand. Work for me is very simply making money for the firm and making money for institutions. That's what we get paid to do here. Our expertise lie here in giving the customers liquidity in a very illiquid market. Give me a first financial stick at the desk. I used to have 10 machines before, literally 10 machines which I would watch. Right now, all I do is have to watch this one screen, and it takes in the place of 10 machines. Excuse me. Hello. Right now, they're all green on my screen, which tells me by a quick glance the market's going up. So if an institution comes in and wants us to commit a large amount of capital, I know I'm better off buying stocks rather than selling stocks. It takes in place of 10 machines.
We've scaled our whole operation down to this one Macintosh. The guy brought the Mac out to the car. It was almost like, okay, this is it. We're really in business.
To us, the Mac is a part of our family. It's very special to us.
Because without the Macintosh, we wouldn't be in desktop publishing. We can't afford the 50,000 Macs set up for the clients to play on, but we can use one Mac Plus to just do quality work and get paid for that.
It satisfies me in a way that I think sitting down with a yellow pad and a #2 pencil did not do. And what the Macintosh does is it allows me to extend the whole process of discovery. We go out and discover fossils like this, which are literally millions of years old, bring them back and study them here in our laboratories. But what's astonishing to me, and what is most remarkable, is once we began analyzing these discoveries with the Macintosh, we gained insights, new discoveries about where they fit on the human family tree that we had never anticipated before.
Good. Okay, let's try again.
It's the only means for these kids to be in touch with progress on just the most basic level. That's what I like. It's all up here.
I hope they feel like I am creative, I can draw, I can program, I can do math. Okay, yeah, click on it.
But you start punching that little mouse in that screen, and then you see that little figure running all over the screen, and you say, oh my God, this is something.
They can be their own role model. They can be their own Batman. They can be their own Superman, their own Wonder Woman.
All of a sudden, they have accessibility to quick learning skills, and their minds are always open to be perceptive and catch things. Yeah, I'm talking about you, BJ. They've been catching it, man. They're gonna catch it all, and it's it's better for them to catch it here, where the computers are, than for them to catch it on the street.
We on the sailing team had a problem getting the results of our regattas to the sailors immediately after the regatta or soon after. We would have 20 to 30 races a day and a lot of very tired, very angry sailors who wanted to know how they'd done. Me with my Macintosh, and a spreadsheet, it's easy to get the information in quickly and bring it out in an intelligent, presentable form. It made a lot of people happy. I think the Macintosh is the best computer for combining what I've written with other forms of expression, be it spreadsheet, graphs, or graphics. When I get done what I have to get done, it's sort of like you're putting your faithful horse away. My Macintosh is like Trigger.
To have another machine outside of your body that reacts as quickly or more quickly is a stimulus for you yourself.
In 10 years, we're going to be the Donald Trumps of the desktop publishing industry.
It's a great device for getting done what has to get done, be it sailing team results or a 50-page thesis.
I've become very, very dependent upon it. Excuse me. Hello.
Information war is on. It seems that nearly every day someone finds a new way of giving us facts. Reports, printouts, analyses, forecasts, reviews, updates. A flood of materials designed to help us understand the changing world of business. But having a lot of information at our fingertips isn't always the best way of understanding what it means. In fact, what starts out as a lot of information often ends up as just a lot of numbers. That's where business graphics comes into the picture. Business graphics is a tool for giving meaning to numbers, for showing relationships and trends, for clarifying and emphasizing, and a way of communicating those meanings quickly, clearly, and attractively. Business graphics turns a lot of numbers into a lot of answers. More and more people are understanding the advantages of graphics. That's why Apple Business Graphics was developed. It gives you the power of computer graphics and the flexibility to use them where you need graphs the most. Financial forecasts, sales reports, scientific charting. Whether you're working with the raw numbers or making your final presentation. Apple Business Graphics is being used in over 6,000 offices today because you need graphs to help you understand data. Let's take a look at how the program works for someone who uses numbers every day. If a market researcher wants to know how nationwide product sales are doing, she can learn more from data that looks like this than from data that looks like this.
In the back of my mind, I always knew that charts would help me, but it used to be so hard to get them. Our data processing department took weeks to make them, and I never had the time to learn their software for myself. But what I like so much about Apple Business Graphics is that I can graph my own data in about 2 minutes. It's that easy. So it gives me the time and the flexibility I need to really work with the data, experiment, try to find trends and curves that aren't immediately noticeable from the numbers themselves. For instance, I've got some tables here from the data processing department on product sales. Now, I graphed that data as a time series, and I clearly see that something went wrong during these months here. Now, here's the same data broken down product by product, and I see all of them took a pretty healthy dip during those same months, so I can't really blame it on one particular product. But when I graph the numbers by region, I see that the North and the East actually went up during those months, but that the Midwest really bottomed out. Now, that kind of information is extremely useful to me. Most of these graphs I wouldn't make into slides or anything like that. They're purely for my information. But this last one, about the Midwest, well, I think someone in management would be very interested in looking at that one.
Apple Business Graphics is a program designed to give you just that sort of versatility. You can take the data you always work with, VisiCalc files or other external database files, and analyze it in graphs without having to re-enter the data.
We realized that many of the things that we originally bought the computer for, like being able to use VisiCalc and getting information from the Dow Jones News Service, were all numbers programs. We do want to get our hands on a lot of numerical information. But it wasn't until we got Apple Business Graphics that we really made full use of what those numbers were trying to tell us. I can do some pretty complicated mathematical graphing, like smooth moving averages and curve fitting, things I could never really do with VisiCalc. Now I'm so used to graphing our VisiCalc models that I've created standardized formats for all the graphs I use most often. Now, every month, I can automatically load in the data and see it in the format I created, all with one command. My boss really appreciates that. When he compares monthly sales, the titles and the axes are the same. The graphs look familiar. That makes them easier to explain and to understand.
You know, I'm concerned about this downward trend in the Midwestern region. I should probably show this to the board this afternoon. How about some overheads of these bar charts, okay?
Okay, no problem. Such short notice used to infuriate me. We had to go to an outside production service for overheads. But now I take the same Apple Business Graphics data I used before and draw really high-quality graphs on our plotter. I can print the same data on a letter quality printer if I'm issuing a report, or if I want to take my work home, I can use a little silent type. But no matter how we print them, I'm still surprised at how easy it has become to use graphs in our office.
As you can see, the problem is in the sales in the Midwest region, which have dropped severely. Now, unfortunately, this is...
It's funny, we've even gotten other departments to start using graphics. Our salespeople are using a program called Screen Director to make a sort of electronic slideshow with a computer. But the slides are actually the graphs they made with Apple Business Graphics, and the projector is the Apple monitor. We can even use the same data and graphs with another program to get actual 35mm slides and overhead transparencies right over the phone line from the Apple. That way, the executives can use Apple Business Graphics to make the points they want to make.
We've been talking it over, and we agree that on the basis of the work, it's easily the best presentation we've seen.
We'd like to award you the account, but frankly, there's a problem.
What's that?
You agreed to keep this assignment confidential.
I don't understand.
Obviously, you brought in freelance artists, typesetters.
You might as well hold a press conference.
Hold on. All the work we've shown you was done by the people in this room on a computer.
What computer puts out work like this?
Hire us and we'll tell you.
so let's get moving. First, Ivan, I know your group can make these numbers look presentable.
Got it.
Next, we'll need work from every department. Who's set up for that?
Our computers are tied in.
Great. Mike, how long for graphics?
3 days max.
Not good enough.
Our computer can do it in a day.
It's yours. Joni, typesetting and printing?
About a week on overtime.
Now, hold on now. Who published this?
We did, on the computer.
Well, do it again. Joe, how long for a production flowchart?
We're jammed. We'll do it as fast as we can.
Ivan, help him out. Last, we need presentation overheads. Any ideas?
Hey, Baldwin, how you doing? Hey, pretty good, Joey. How are you? Good. Hey, Governor. Hey, guys. See that game last night? Oh, man, let me tell you about that game. How we supposed to
Finished already.
Couldn't believe it.
Hey, I thought we were supposed to be doing this in-house.
That's right. Pass the salt, would you?
Hey, your group do this?
New computer. The salt.
Oh.
I mean, just stuff.
Quintile analysis? Hey, give me a break.
Well, Siegel did that.
I thought he's in the LA office.
Yeah, so's Edwards. She did the graphics.
You missed his great catch.
I heard about it. What happened?
Hey, the market projections?
Garnett, Chicago.
Great catch off the wall. Drew the guy out of second base. So how'd you get everybody together in the same place?
I told you. New computer.
What kind of a system can do that?
Welcome phone.
What?
Welcome phone.
Pardon me?
Steve?
Hi, Jenny. Sit down, please.
What are you doing, opening a branch office?
No, saving my job. They moved this meeting up to tomorrow morning.
Don't you guys have computers?
Sure, so what?
Oh, I wouldn't even think of doing stuff like this without mine.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, really nice, Steve.
I'm sorry. Look, Jenny, if you can find me a computer that can do this, or this, or this, I will buy you this entire restaurant and everything in it.
Oh, waiter.
Dad!
Just a second, Martin.
Hey! Mom, come on.
Be out in a minute.
Hey! And you're not fair.
I'm busy, Martin.
I don't care. I'm coming in.
Don't you dare.
An Apple II GS can do over 10,000 things for your family.
My computer.
Maybe even teach them to share.
Parakeet.
When Andrea Barber grows up, she's going to publish a newspaper. But then that's what she's doing right now.
Kids are gonna freak when they see this. Roger.
Chris Stahl wants to pilot a jet plane. In fact, he's already flying one. And when Hakeem grows up, he's going to be a record producer. A child with an Apple II computer quickly learns there's no use putting off until tomorrow what you can do today.
I'm different, and I don't care who knows it. Something about me, not the same yet. I'm different, and that's how it goes. Ain't gonna play your dumb old game. I got a different way of walking. I got a different kind of smile. I got a different way of talking. Drive the women kind of wild.
He's different.
You don't care who knows it.
He's not gonna play.
At Apple, we build tools that help ordinary people do extraordinary things. But sometimes it's more important to help extraordinary people do ordinary things.
I'm different, and I don't care who knows it. They ain't gonna play your dumb old game.
The Hindu religion is the oldest religion in the world. There are over 650 million Hindus in the world today. There must be 200 monasteries like this one. Each one has its function. Our particular job is to bring Hindu religion into modern English, make it acceptable for the Western educated person to understand and to apply to his daily life. In order to do this, we use the best technology that we can. And the best technology that we found is the Apple computer because it's so easy to use.
In some ways, it may seem an anomaly that the oldest religion in the world is now using the newest technology, things on the frontier of human ability. But to us, it's the most natural thing that could be.
One of the main things we do at this monastery is publish this newspaper, Hinduism Today. People call this the voice of Hinduism. It's well received all around the world, and it's produced entirely on the Macintosh. It serves as a way of bringing the dispersed Hindu community around the world together.
Knowing how the forces of the universe are working at any given moment is the value of astrology. Previously, there was only a handful of people that knew how to do it and had the knowledge in their head or in their library. Now that library is right here in the computer. The masses now can understand astrology. They don't have to go to an astrologer in India to have their chart done. They can just whip it up on the screen and there it is.
Through history, monasteries have always had some kind of agricultural endeavor to maintain their self-sufficiency, and our monastery here in Hawaii has honeybees. We have 3,000 colonies, which we've developed in the course of less than a decade, which is very unusual. It usually takes several generations to do that, and the Macintosh has really been instrumental in enabling us to handle the information, the financing, to make that leap from having no agricultural endowment to having a full-blown agricultural endowment.
We're not becoming better computer experts. We're becoming better beekeepers and better monks.
In our editorial in Hinduism Today a couple of months back, we urged all the Hindus in the world to buy the Macintosh. And we created an acronym, DHARMA, which, if you spell it out, is the word Dharma. Dharma means many things in Hinduism, but it's like the eternal path. It includes good conduct and the cosmic way, if you will. So our acronym is Drive Hinduism Ahead through Requiring Macintosh Acquisition, DHARMA, meaning that if we, as a family of Hindus, can network ourselves a little better through a common medium, the Macintosh, then Dharma itself will be promoted. Goodness in the world will be promoted. We're creating enlightenment tools to enlighten the world. So if you say that you empower the individual, which you do, we say, what greater empowerment than to take that tool and help enlighten the world?
I'm buying one.
Me compré mi Macintosh la semana pasada. Es el primer ordenador de mi vida.
How many Macs are you making?
In Europe, we've been shipping more than 20,000 products per week.
Who's buying them?
People.
Classic 2!
I got a PowerBook.
Do I need a computer? Seems like too much hard work to me.
As soon as you've got the hold of the mouse and everything and you draw down menus, everything's brilliant. It's so easy.
Can you be more specific?
Students, entrepreneurs, teachers, dentists, lawyers, artists.
Si le das un beso a una niña y se sonríe y te vuelve a dar un beso todavía más fuerte, me doy cuenta que eso está muy bien hecho. Pero si me lo preguntas por mi trabajo, nunca lo sabes. De hecho, tienes la impresión de estar continuamente haciendo graves errores. Yo creo que los ordenadores está muy bien que sean máquinas frías. Y de hecho a mí nunca me ha gustado tocar con el dedo. Me parece que una buena herramienta es el mouse. Macintosh is really good because it's like a pencil, it's very close to you. Utilizar un Macintosh o no utilizarlo es como plantearse hoy en día que en tu casa no pones luz eléctrica y te gusta más ir con vela. Bueno, el proceso de trabajo del Macintosh es mucho más visual y sobre todo más lógico, como más juvenil, más, no sé, más cercano tuyo, te toca más. Está hecho por alguien que realmente sabe lo que es tener alma y cariño, que es importante.
I don't wave. She really doesn't. I don't actually know much about computers. She really doesn't.
But if you did, what would you buy?
Macintosh?
Why?
Because I don't actually want to know very much about computers.
Anything that we ever get involved with, software, systems, whatever it is, it has to be measured by best ease of use. We are interested in taking technology which may be sophisticated, intimidating, unapproachable, and make it appealing to the user. The idea that you could empower individuals with tools that leverage very advanced technologies, but make it accessible to normal people.
I'm going to go into a shop, find out what kind of computer I need, buy it and learn to use it. And use it.
What do people do with them?
They work, organize, create, inspire.
And what else?
Categorize, play, have fun.
And you call that computing?
Yes.
What is it about the word computer that scares people, do you think? People that just know typewriters say.
The truth is that most of the things that people do on computers today isn't really adding numbers together. They're generally dealing with things at the level of ideas. They're relating ideas in different ways. Even when people use a spreadsheet, the important thing about the spreadsheet is the model. All of the tedious stuff, which they didn't like to do in school, is done for you by the computer. The important thing is this idea that you've created a structure that is a thought amplifier. So it's one of these things that, like a musical instrument, takes something that we're doing inside of ourselves and expands the possibilities.
Bye. Here we are. I'm looking for an Apple or a Macintosh. Which is it?
Well, Macintosh is a whole series of computers, all built by Apple Computer.
Right. So there's a lot of them.
Yes.
Can we take it from the beginning?
This is the Macintosh Classic, which is the entry-level Macintosh, which is ideal for domestic use for word processing and personal accounting. Click, drag down.
Up here?
Yeah. Click, hold down, drag down, and paste, release. Here we are.
That's very simple.
In what kind of places do you find the Classic?
Homes, schools, factories, smaller businesses like bakeries.
Macintosh, Classic 2.
But the Classic 2 is the same as the Classic, but more powerful, faster.
This is the Macintosh LC, which is modular, which means you have a range of screens to choose from.
Oh, I see, yeah.
The LC is our most affordable, most popular color Macintosh.
This is the Macintosh PowerBook 100, the 140, and the 170. And you'll notice they have the unique Apple palm rest.
Oh, I really like the look of these. And they're so light.
What can people do with the PowerBook?
Well, write, sell, learn, teach, play, communicate. Whatever they do, they can now do it wherever they go.
What if you want to do complicated things?
Well, then we have the high-end Macintosh, like the Quadra.
So who uses those?
Designers, publishers, scientists, engineers, professors, and 2,823 people at Cambridge University.
As I understand it, all Macintoshes do exactly the same thing, only I decide how much money I want to spend, how powerful the computer should be, how big the screen, whether I want color or monochrome. What is monochrome?
Oh, black and white.
I want color.
Porque para mí es normal. Los colores forman parte de mi vida. Justo por eso uso Macintosh.
This is my Macintosh LC. Good color machine for someone starting out just like me. Oh, and this is my style writer. I would just like to add that the camera crew didn't help me at all.
Having fun?
I'm having great fun.
Je crois que l'inspiration vient d'abord de la discussion qu'on a aujourd'hui, du son de la pluie qui tape contre la vitre, d'une conversation ou d'un film ou d'un livre que j'ai lu ou vu dans les dernières heures, et tous ces différents éléments donneront naissance demain, dans une semaine ou dans un mois, à une idée musicale. Moi, je suis arrivé à un moment où le Macintosh est arrivé au milieu de ma vie. Alors qu'il y a des gens, les enfants dont vous parlez, sont des gens qui sont nés avec le Macintosh. Donc, ils ont des réactions instinctives et intuitives que je n'ai pas. Donc, je pense qu'ils auraient peut-être plus de conseils à me donner que moi, j'aurais de conseils à leur donner. Ça devrait être la technologie qui suit la création et pas l'inverse. Et aujourd'hui, il y a eu un effort énorme des créateurs pour s'adapter continuellement vis-à-vis de la technologie. Et j'espère qu'on va arriver à une situation inverse le plus rapidement possible. Mais je suis effectivement toujours émerveillé par le nouvel instrument, c'est aussi le charme de la technologie, aussi de la technique. Voilà.
The user feels like this is the easiest computer they've ever used in their life. That in terms of their own productivity, they feel like they can do more things than they could ever do and they couldn't get along without it. And that's the bottom line. It's not about technology features. It's about, is this a product that I couldn't get along without now that I've learned to use it? Is it one that's the best experience I've ever had if I've used other computers?
My Macintosh is like oxygen. You can't live without it.
Icons, pull down menus, windows, all sorts of things. Well, I'm in control. I mean, I tell it what to do. It doesn't tell me what to put in.
When I'm using Macintosh at work, I really feel I'm not working. I feel I'm playing.
Isn't it rather complicated?
Sí, sí, claro. Puede que sea complicado. Solo si tú quieres que sea complicado.
Sí. What have you done with poor Carol?
Come over here and have a look at this.
That didn't take long.
And this? It's all laid out so well.
My favourite command? Oh, it's definitely print.
My favourite command?
Bold.
I like cut. Page preview.
Probably.
I'd say paste.
J'aime bien quitter.
My favorite command is undo. Really.
Look, you can go over the top and come around to this side and look at it from the other side.
Good. Now, what about what's going on the inside?
Well, the crater up here was from an eruption a long time ago. You can see the cracks where the lava came down. Here's the top of the volcano. The crater was caused by an eruption a long time ago.
Show us where the magma is.
The part is the magma underneath the Earth's crust. Heat from the magma creates pressure against the surface of the Earth. When volcanoes erupt, the magma comes out through the cracks in the Earth's crust, and the cracks are called fissures. I knew that.
What's it really look like?
This is what a volcanic eruption looks like in real life.
So being able to speak and get natural responses, the metaphor of kind of a human personality in the computer, certainly I think that's one of the big directions that computers will go.
I need to review more recent literature. Pull up all the new articles I haven't read yet.
Journal articles only?
Fine.
Your friend Jill Gilbert has published an article about deforestation in the Amazon and its effects on rainfall in the sub-Sahara.
It also covers drought's effect on food production in Africa and increasing imports of food.
Okay. Let's see. There's an article about 5 years ago, Dr. Flemson or something. He really disagreed with the direction of Jill's research.
John Fleming of Uppsala University. He published in the Journal of Earth Science of July 20 of 2006.
Yes, that's it. He was challenging Jill's projection of the amount of carbon dioxide being released to the atmosphere through deforestation. I'd like to recheck his figures.
Here is the rate of deforestation he predicted.
And what happened? He was really off. Give me the university research network.
The computer having very personal characteristics, speaking in a natural human voice. Elements moving on the screen as the computer describes what's happening. Still giving the advantage of a computer, which is it's interactive. The student can back up, ask a question about something, collaborate with a friend, and it doesn't run by continuously like television does.
I'm not sure to what extent computers are being used now for adult literacy, but I feel persuaded that it's a much more effective tool than the school situation for most adults, because the computer's not threatening. An adult, if you have a good program, an adult can sit down with the computer and make mistakes and not be reprimanded and not feel humiliated. Even though the teachers may not want to humiliate the student, a lot of times someone who's 30 or 40 years old is so ashamed of not being able to read that the interaction with other people may be quite intimidating, whereas the computer is not.
After filling the engine with oil, the coil wire should be grounded and the engine cranked by the starter motor until the oil What's this word?
Pressure.
Oh, pressure. Until the oil pressure gauge reads 10 pounds.
Would you like to go on to lesson 6?
No, I want to read this. The Oakland A's begin an important homestand tonight.
Well, of course, I would expect it to be able to accept speech. Keyboarding is a truly primitive way of getting information into the machine. So to begin with, I would want it to do that. Almost as important to me, and I think vitally important to the world, is I want it to do automatic translation. Even if that translation is not 100% perfect, there's no such thing. I want to be able to read books in Swedish and Japanese and Hungarian and Arabic and Hebrew and Greek and Chinese, and I can't.
Well, I think the supercomputers of today will be the desktop computers of tomorrow. And there are two kinds of things that you can do with more computing power. You can do more of what you want to do now faster, and you can occasionally do some things that you would be unthinkable to do now.
This is some pretty convincing stuff. I'll need all the ammo I can get for my meeting with Professor Thorndike and his committee of invertebrates.
Look, see how the engine creates a lot of turbulence, especially at high speeds?
So?
Well, this causes a lot of noise and also creates a certain amount of drag.
Much like?
Thorndike. The oscillation starts inside the nozzle and the turbulence really increases outside.
Have you tried flaring the exhaust nozzle?
Sure, I've tested a lot of possible angles. I noticed that the oscillation is a lot lower when you have something like this, about 14 degrees.
We should test this. Can you talk to Gavin about a prototype of the nozzle?
Sure.
And can you add these changes to the specs?
Sure.
Can you meet with Thorndike?
Get out.
The implication of this much computing power at a very affordable cost, partly one of those because of the fact it's so radically different than anything we could have ever expected, where the very hugest supercomputers of my lifetime, early in my lifetime, are now equaled by inexpensive personal computers that you can buy everywhere and everyone can own. It's like you can't even say where is this going to go.
the ideas about hypermedia and what their possibilities can be have been around for a long time. And they have always been to be able to cut your own trails through information of your own, other people's information, weave in your stuff with other people. The trails now constitute a new kind of a book.
Select the nozzle. Modify. Let's see noise test 3 again. Okay, change the nozzle dimensions to the ones in noise test 3. Great. Let's see performance requirements. Regulations. Noise. Link the noise regulations to the nozzle dimensions. Nozzle dimensions.
I don't know what the next extension of that is, except that, an enrichment of it through going through, looking at a book of mine, not simply as a page of text, but also having behind that page of text is access to additional information that enriches the text.
Supplement it with documents, original source material, writings of the period, and begin to get what every historian would love to achieve, which is a real sense of the time.
So if we had a machine that we could play games with and take each subject to its farthest point, you could say to the machine, how come I love dinosaurs so much? Show me all the covers of the science fiction magazines my father and my grandfather grew up with that caused us to become scientists or technologists, to fall in love with the future. The things that make us want to live forever. That sort of machine, I think, would be absolutely incredible for a child to play with. We're all doing the same thing, same work, but we're doing it in different ways. And saying, my God, isn't this exciting? Huh? What we have here to prove that mankind has moved from here to here and can move even further to here. When I was a child of 9, I collected Buck Rogers comic strips because they were the future. And oh, I could hardly wait every night for the newspaper to arrive. And I'd rush out and smell the newspaper. And it smelled good. You know why? Because the future was in there. But the people in the 4th grade at school made fun of me, and I tore up these strips that I'd been collecting. Huh? And a month or so later, I burst into tears and said, why am I crying? Well, I was crying because I'd torn up the future.
I was the co-author of a study that came out last fall that got a lot of attention with the title, What Do Our 17-Year-Olds Know? And one of the things that seemed to come out of it was that the things that they know, they're not learning in school. They're learning mainly through television and the popular culture.
There would have been time for such a word tomorrow and tomorrow and... could you read this speech to me, please?
Who would you like to read it?
The Williamson reading.
The Queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word tomorrow. Tomorrow.
I do it more like a newspaper story. Is that okay?
That's fine, Holly. But try to stick to one particular event in the story, like Lady Macbeth's suicide or Duncan's murder.
This is so stupid.
The biggest problem teachers have is motivating students to want to learn. The teacher has that tool to bring the kids to a kind of a fever pitch of wanting to complete a task, wanting to see something accomplished successfully. Then I think that this will become a tremendous resource for the teacher. It won't supplant the teacher.
Well, what did you like about it?
I don't know. I guess I like the last scene with Macbeth and what's-his-name fighting and Macbeth gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell what it looked like, you know?
Why don't you show me what you think it looked like? Stage it for us.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
to do a library search.
What is the subject?
I need an illustration of a medieval weapon used in Scotland. Let me see a close-up of this sword. That's outrageous. It's front page material. This is gonna look great. Witnesses said the sword fight lasted just a few moments, with Macduff easily beating the battle-weary Macbeth.
No way. He didn't beat him easily. Holly!
All of a sudden, what's important is to let all the students go at different paces and let them even choose their own grades, and that's what will work out better to motivate them.
All right, I'm ready to record. She should have died hereafter.
He put up a good fight.
Oh,
Macbeth. Look, replay the scene, please. And this is the way I'm staging it.
What makes you an authority?
Because I check my facts. I've seen lots of performances, and it was a good fight in every one of them.
Why are they fighting with rapiers? They should have broadswords.
Should have what?
No. This is an engraving from medieval Scotland, in Macbeth's time. You see, this is a broadsword.
How come they've used rapiers in every Shakespeare play that I've seen?
But not in Macbeth. It's set in the Middle Ages. You must check your facts, good fellow.
The student can back up, ask a question about something, collaborate with a friend, and it doesn't run by continuously like television does. The resolution on the screen and what's presented should get more and more like live television with its fine graphics and actors for presentation reasons.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow.
The history of Renaissance art, a history of music, the history of other kinds of painting, stage, cinema. They're all ways of looking at the same thing. We're all doing the same thing, same work, but we're doing it in different ways. And saying, my God, isn't this exciting? What we have here to prove that mankind has moved from here to here and can move even further to here.
Dear Mr. Sculley, my name is Red Lippincott and I am 7 years old. I am in the 2nd grade and I am learning how to program in Logo 2. I like to see the pictures when they are finished. This is really neat. I am sending you a picture of the spider that I made with my first program. Your friend in Logo, Red Lippincott.
Dear Mr. Sculley, my name is Randy Reddick, and I am 12 years old. I have programmed and played video games, designed graphics, written songs, whatever, all on my Apple IIc. I yearn for something more, but my dad won't let me get a Macintosh. So what I ask of you is simple. Please write a letter to my dad, persuading him to get me a Macintosh. Here's a list of what I would like. A Macintosh 2CX with a laser writer, Apple scanner, 40 megabyte hard disk, Apple CD disk drive, a 68030 33 megahertz accelerator, Apple extended keyboard, an optical mouse, 16.7 million color graphics board, extended ADB cables, AUX, HyperCard, a 2-page full-color Radius monitor, AutoCAD, and a MIDI interface. How much will all this cost? Thanks. Make sure to make it a professional type letter, okay? Sincerely, Randy Red.
Dear Mr. Sculley, at school we have an Apple IIe, and at home I have a Macintosh. I think your computers are great. In the future, maybe you can invent a computer that can communicate with animals, especially dolphins. I think dolphins are very smart, maybe even smarter than us in their own way. Sincerely, Caroline Gettingham.
Dear Mr. Sculley, my dad says that computers are only tools, and real creativity comes only from your mind. He's right, I guess. But what a great tool the computer is. Computers are the tool of the future. And as my computer teacher likes to say, there are no limits. Sincerely, Gina Russo.
Dear Mr. Sculley, Mac rules the world. Your Mac friend, Brent Rambo.